Hi, how you doing? It's me, it's Alan, and I'm here today to talk to you about AWS Cost Optimization. Yes, it's that time of year again where everyone's looking to save themselves a little bit of money on their AWS bill just before Christmas. So I'm here to tell you how to get the best out of your AWS account. But first, quick introductions. I'm Alan Blockley. Down here is my LinkedIn address. Who am I? I'm an AWS ambassador, 12 times certified, AWS certification, subject matter expert, and an AWS community builder working in the AWS partner ecosystem. I run well-architected framework reviews for customers day in, day out, talking about all 6 of the pillars within the AWS well-architected framework. That is operational excellence, security, reliability, performance, efficiencies, cost optimization, and sustainability. So today I want to talk to you about cost optimization, especially from the perspective of the well-architected framework. This here will help you get your costs down and hopefully keep them in control as well, because it's no good just getting them down today and then letting them go back up again next week. So that's why we're doing that today. Why? Because we need to not only keep our costs down, but we also need to keep control of them as well and have great visibility over them. So here's my top 10 tips at the moment for keeping your costs under control from the well-architected framework. Top of the list, keeping visibility of that bill, as in making sure that you can get access to the AWS bill from the AWS console without having to log in to the root account of your AWS account, because nobody needs to be logging into the root account. So I'm just going to share my screen here. And if you can see this, great, not a problem. And what you're looking for here to make sure that you're doing the right thing is just in this top right corner here where it says your username, billing dashboard. I'm logged in here with an IAM user through single sign-on, all sorts of well-architected goodness there. But ultimately, in fact, you can go down to billing dashboard and then click on bills. If you can see your AWS bill from here, this is a account, so there's not too much in it. But if you can see that screen, absolutely fantastic. If not, then there is an article, a blog article. I can post that in the comments below a little bit later that can tell you how to enable IAM billing access. You need to keep control of this at all times. While we're in this console, just here as well, the next big tip here is AWS budgets. Make sure that we're enabling budgets in our account so we know how much we're spending. Do I have budgets enabled here? I'm going to say I'm a very naughty boy at this point and go, I've only got one. And that's just my monthly cost budget. Set it for $10. Normally I'd have more of these, but I've got those in my normal account. But right here, you've got just a standard budget that can tell you how much you're spending in the month, and it can alert you when you've spent more than you should do. On top of that as well, there's another feature in here which should allow you to look for AWS anomalies in your billing as well. And that's also part of the budget alerts as well. So you've got a few things to play with in this particular screen here. Bonus time, bonus little feature out of my top 10. Tagging your resources as well, and then creating reports upon those tags so you can see exactly what it is that you're spending money on at any time through the month. You can separate that by workload. You can separate that even by project, maybe. Next up on my list, tip number 3, right sizing. So what I recommend here is just making sure that you're looking at the instance types, EC2 instance types, if you're running EC2s, and making sure that you're using the latest generation instance. So it's all well and good you being able to run your T2 micro or your T2 medium, or maybe even your M4 large instances. But what you're going to find is you're not getting the best bang for your buck there. So you're going to be wanting to upgrade those to something like an M6i or your T3s, or even if you're looking at the ability of using ARM technology, then using a Graviton instance like a T4G. What you'll find is these newer technologies, they have faster processors, they have better throughput, and the cost is relatively similar between instance sizes. So you get more bang for your buck, and maybe you'll be able to do more with less long term. Number 5, scheduling. Now, this sounds a bit weird. Why am I scheduling? I'm scheduling my time to be on AWS? That's a bit weird. No, I don't mean that. What I mean is if you are running a dev account, if you've got a project account that you're running or something like that, then my key thing here is to use something like the Amazon Instance Scheduler. The Amazon Instance Scheduler is a solution that AWS have put together that allows you to shut down resources when you're not using it. So, for example, if you've got a piece of project software that you only use 8 hours a day, then set it up just to run in office hours. It will start itself up in the morning before you've got to your desk and had your coffee. It will run through the day, and then at nighttime, it will shut itself down based upon the schedule that you define. This will allow you to save up to about 76% of the cost of running that workload in 1 week. Bonus time again, if you're a SageMaker user, also make sure that you are going to be shutting down those SageMaker instances. This is very, very important because SageMaker can cost you quite a lot of money. There are some automated ways of doing this. Throw them in the comments if you have got some suggestions there. I'll also try and find some links for you at this point and put them in the comments as well. Number 6 on my list, if you run stateless applications, now that could be, I don't know, something you've written and it stores all its data on a database or even stores your data on an external share, then maybe start running that in an auto-scaling group of 1, but set it to a spot instance as well. This can save you 90% of the compute power as well. Recommended, especially for non-production workloads, devs, projects, stuff that you're working on, but you don't necessarily want to spend loads of money on just yet. If you want to do this in production, I would err on the side of caution for doing that, as it does sometimes mean there could be minor interruptions in the workload. And if you don't want to have interruptions in your workload, then this could be risky. But certainly in non-production, development, coding environments, that sort of stuff, or auto-scaling group of 1 and spot instances. Also gives you self-healing capabilities as well, a little sneaky there from the reliability pillar. Okay, coming into number 7 now, long-term commitments. Yes, right. Put a ring on it if you want to, if you like it and all that sort of stuff. No, not really. Long-term commitment to AWS means if you're running a workload for longer than a year, then what can you do to save some money? AWS savings plans is probably the common thing that people will go towards here. And it's just making sure you get the right savings plan for the right purpose. For example, a savings plan comes in 3 flavors. SageMaker, not a problem. If you're running SageMaker, you can then apply a savings plan towards your SageMaker workload. EC2, which then means you can potentially save some money based upon a certain EC2 family, but doesn't matter about the size of workload. But the real powerful one, the real flexible one that I think everyone needs to consider out of the box is an EC2 compute savings plan. The core thing about this applies not only to EC2 instances, this also applies to EC2, Lambda, Fargate. If it's got a compute backend to it, then it potentially can give you some discounts towards this particular saving here as well. So absolutely fantastic way of saving yourself some money against your compute. Yes, I know I rambled a bit there. Happens occasionally. I sometimes go off down rabbit holes and it takes me a moment to come back. Hi, how you doing? I'm Alan. This is my LinkedIn. Hey, let's carry on with the video now, shall we? Bonus number 1 from savings plans, you can also look at expiration alerts as well. Don't get caught out for having a savings plan that's expired, because that's the first thing that will shock you, or bill shock as it's called, when they've expired. You'll find that you've gone from running your workload at a nice, comfortable pace on the bill to all of a sudden an extra $3,000 or $4,000. You don't want that. That's going to scare not only you, but your CTO or the boss or the wife, or whoever it is that's checking the bill. Bonus number 2, with long-term commitment, that's right, I have a second bonus for this one. Reserved instances. So there's some services that can't actually use savings plans, and that's okay. These things happen. Instead, we can have RDS, Elastication, OpenSearch covered by long-term reserved instances instead. That's still 12 months or 36 months, but ultimately you're locked into your instance types and sizes. So just watch out for those. Yes, you've got some money to save there, but if you've got a flexible workload, this may not be right for you. Number 8 on my list, let's start talking about storage and how to save money on storage. Everyone knows that S3 is cheap to store data, but what if you're storing terabytes and terabytes and terabytes of data? What if you only have a small budget to run your workload? Then you can start using the lifecycle policies. Lifecycle policies allow you to scale through different tiers of S3 pricing bands, making it cheaper and cheaper for your data, depending on how often you use it. There's also a little magic trick called intelligent tiering. S3 intelligent tiering will take you through these steps automatically based upon a few vague parameters that you give them to start with, and then automatically bring data into those cheaper zones, but also bring them out when that data is needed as well. So you're not going to manually restore things from different zones. It will do that for you, and that will start to save you some money automatically. Also, if you're using EC2 instances and you're using EBS volumes, then upgrading from GP2 to GP3 should be something that we've all done by now. But if you've not, make sure that's a thing, because not only is it 20% cheaper to run, and on a terabyte volume, that's a lot of money over a month, but also it performs better as well. So a little sneaky in there from the performance pillar as well, just to add to the mix. And then my last little tip for you all to save a little bit of money is service consolidation. We all know it's nice to have a load balancer and a NAT gateway and a few other services and run them in your different VPCs and subnets, etc. But sometimes all you need is one. All you need is one load balancer to route that traffic based upon host headers, path headers, or any header that you want to send it to the right workload, to the right target group, or the right EC2 instance, or the right Lambda function. But ultimately, one load balancer should be sufficient for any account, as long as you're not putting the entirety of Fortnite through it. And similarly with NAT gateways, unless you are adamant that you require a highly available architecture that requires a NAT gateway in every single availability zone, just launch one per account. That will save you a lot of money as well. And I can hear Corey Quinn already rolling over the other side of the cloud, echoing, yes, delete the NAT gateways. Delete the NAT gateways. And that's my top 10 tips for saving some money this side of Christmas with your AWS account. Follow these tips and also go through the supporting documentation as well. And I promise your life will be a little bit easier when it comes to running your AWS workloads. I'm Alan Blockley. I'm a community builder. And if you're interested in becoming a community builder and taking part in things like this, then there's the link down there right now, AWS Community Builders. Join the program and come and say hi. And if you're at reInvent this year, then come say hi to me at some point when you're around as well. Thank you. Goodbye.